What's up, gang? Hope everybody's doing well today. If it's your first time checking out the show, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to let you know when we're dropping a new episode. You can find us on all your major platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us there. Share it with all your friends. We really appreciate it. For the returning listeners, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Thank you for all your support that you've given us so far. Hopefully by now you have switched over your Amazon to the Amazon Smile service and you have chosen Professional Firefighters of North Carolina Charitable Fund to be the charity that you donate to. Again, that doesn't charge you anything extra. It doesn't add anything onto the end of your total. It's just a service that Amazon provides, and it's a way for you to give to the North Carolina Charitable Fund for professional firefighters just by purchasing your normal stuff on Amazon. Next on the show, we got Chris Comaduran. He's a North Carolina paramedic, came from California. That's where he started his career in the first responder world. This is more of a mental health episode. We get into a lot of things that Chris experienced in California as well as the things he has experienced here in North Carolina. Some of the anxiety that he's had to deal with, some of the other things that he's had to deal with. He also has a podcast doing some good stuff. It's called Life with Dento. I'll link it in the show notes below. Go check it out, like and subscribe to his show as well. Chris, we appreciate you being gracious with your time. Really enjoyed the conversation. Here's Chris.
That's been our friend.
Yeah, I don't really notice it. I think I say it. I say it from time to time. I say a lot. Like,
Captain Bobzine.
He says it a lot.
Yeah, that first show with him, number 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he called me after. He was like, I had no idea that I said, so much.
The trick is to not listen to it after you record it. Just edit it and then just send it.
I listen to all of them.
Post and ghost.
Post and ghost, yeah.
I do that with some of them. Yeah, I don't know.
I do. I listen to all of them. I might not listen to full length, but I'll at least get in the conversation. And then sometimes it's like the conversation is fresh. And I'm learning, listening. The Holistic Girls show. Mm-hmm. What was her name?
Carrie. I don't want to fuck this up.
Sink?
Carrie Sink. That was it. Yep.
Look
Carrie
at the
Sink.
big brain on Brad.
Yep.
Metric system. That was one of those. I listened to that one probably 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Good. She was
info.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
She was fun. With your show, Chris, what are you focusing on your show?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think on there, it says jiu-jitsu, mental health, surfing, skateboarding, and I think health as well. Just all of that kind of combined, because that's kind of who I am now.
Right.
I do all those things, so.
That sounds way more interesting.
Yeah. How long has this jiu-jitsu thing been part of your life?
Actually, since I moved here. I think I started in October, and I moved here in August, back in 2013, so. I was actually just going to go kickbox, but then I did jiu-jitsu, and I just got mauled, and I still get mauled, and I'm like, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out a way to beat up everybody, but I just keep getting beat up all the time, and it's a hard puzzle to solve, so I just keep going back. So
yeah. It sounds addictive.
It is.
It is. I did it for about 9 months. We were lucky when I worked in Clinton, when I was on there. It's been years and years ago, but the fire station sat here, and then there was an open little building, and right beside that was a place that the guy did. He did jiu-jitsu, and then he did some kettlebell fitness stuff and all that. So it was one of those type places.
Yeah.
So we used to go over there on shift. Me and Lee would go over there on shift, and we would go over there and roll. And about 9 months in, I got my ass absolutely handed to me by a 13-year-old girl, and I never went back.
Yeah.
Absolutely handed to me.
She just shut you down.
That's tough.
Dude, it was unreal. She was legit. She'd been doing it since she could walk, and I had not.
Yeah.
And it transcends everything that you would think about fighting.
It does.
Everything.
It humbles you, for sure.
There's no doubt, because it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter. If you have zero skill and you're huge, and somebody is a quarter of your size and has skill, you're fucked.
Yeah.
How about that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it belts? Is there belts in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. There's 5 adults and adult belts, and I don't even know how many kid belts there are. There's quite a bit, but yeah.
Who do you train with now?
Salty Dog Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Under John Salter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a local. He's a professional fighter, middleweight fighter. I don't know if you guys have seen him fight or not. He did work for Wilmington Fire for like a year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of him. I
Yeah.
don't know I've ever seen him fight. Is Brunson or any of them guys train with him very much? Or
Yeah,
I know Brunson's got his own place now. I
Yeah,
think.
he's got his own place. John, like they were training partners for a while, but I don't know what happened. But yeah, they kind of got their own things going on. So
Seems like the national or the progression of professional fighters is once they train with somebody for a long time and then they kind of do their own thing after a while. It's just natural progression, I suppose.
yeah, but no, it's cool, man.
For sure.
Yeah, he mauled me today too, so I'm a little tired. That's his fault.
You earned it. Yeah.
You don't have any black eyes, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah, but I had to cry after for about a couple hours. So. Yeah.
I bet you and Dane would get along well.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure. He likes getting his face kicked in pretty regularly.
Yeah, it's I don't know, strange, but yeah, I like it. Yeah. Sometimes I get elbowed in the face on that 'cause I'm like, all right, like whatever. Like
My worst was getting kneed in the nuts. Somebody be trying to pass your guard and they'd shove that knee through and hit you right in the nuts.
yeah.
It's the worst.
Was that one of those accidentally on purpose kind of moves or just
Well, I guess it depends on who you're rolling with.
I
But
guess
Yeah. You never know.
right.
right. Right. Yeah, we've entertained the idea of getting some mats up there at 17 and rolling. I'm like, no, there's no way. We would kill each other.
I mean, that might be good though.
I can see the good side and I can see the scary side. Can you imagine
Yeah.
a temper flare? Like,
It would happen immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might sort out some things though.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. Yeah. If there's some controversy, we can just fix this right here. I like that.
That's a really good idea. You're like, let's work out station assignments.
No. Everybody be training at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Salty Dog Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
There's some more city guys. I don't know if they've been doing it or just started posting about them doing it, but what's the real estate guy?
Tyler Howe.
Tyler Howe. He's been posting a lot about training.
He and Eric Moon.
Yeah, Eric Moon,
Yeah.
all them. Yep. Are they training there or are they training at a different one? There's probably 4 or 5 by now.
I don't
around
know where
Wilmington.
he's training. I've seen him, or I think he started training maybe a little bit before I did. But
It's the
But
guy
he's
with
not
the
training
weird
with-
last name.
yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. It's like he's like around like my size, maybe a little bit taller.
Tyler or the guy that he trains with? Or
Tyler?
Tyler Howe is the city fireman.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
does real estate too, but
Yeah.
I've just started noticing him post stuff about
Okay.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I'm not
So I
sure
don't-
where he trains. Yeah.
I don't know either.
It's the guy. He was going to run for a political office or is running, but he's got a unique last name. Like it's not American.
Did we mention him on here?
Yeah.
One time?
Yeah, we were talking about having him on.
It's a Uzgadagi. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. He's a black belt. Yeah, I know him. I've trained with him too. He's a tough guy. He's got good jiu-jitsu too. So
I wonder if Tony
Yeah.
was talking about him. We had Tony on here.
I bet so. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to get him.
What
in.
was his name?
uh,
Like I said, I'm sure you'll butcher it, but that's okay.
yeah, Uzgadagi or something like that.
Uzgadagi.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Uzgada guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony was talking about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
metric system? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So more to you than jiu-jitsu. You're originally from not here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where are you originally from?
I'm actually born in San Francisco, grew up in Novato, California, which is like in Marin County. So just right across the Golden Gate Bridge is where I grew up, basically. So,
Mom and dad still there?
mom is in San Rafael, California, which is about 30 minutes north of San Francisco, and my dad is now in Arizona.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What was life like in California?
Not what everybody thinks it is. Like, I feel like here is more California than what California should be, I guess. Like, I feel like it's a more beachy vibe here than it is over there now. But
How about that?
Yeah.
I
What-
mean, I didn't grow up like right on the beach either, so that probably could be one reason. So
Yeah, Marin County is that the home of the Marin bikes, like mountain bikes.
Maybe.
Yeah, were you into the mountain bike world or not?
No, not at all. Yeah, I fell over like my handlebars a couple times.
Right. Yeah.
I get that.
Quit that one, but no. Yeah, I didn't know they had one, but that sounds like where I'm from. So they have a lot of mountains and hills over there. It's pretty cool, but expensive and crazy.
How far to the big trees from where you grew up? Like, was that part of your growing up, or you had to drive to go see them?
It depends which ones you're talking about. Like Muir Woods is like 20-minute drive, and like those are like redwoods, like where they filmed like where the Ewoks were.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Like I actually went to George Lucas's like whatever it was, like some of his film sites. Like actually it was for firefighting. Like I was learning about building construction, all that. Like went through college there, and we had to visit one of his sites because like he had like state of the art like equipment and stuff. So we actually got to go check that area out too. I just remembered that. I haven't thought about that in a while.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. But
So you went through. So you were a fireman in California?
yeah, so I went through the fire academy there, and I knew I wanted to be a medic. Out there, you have to be a firefighter medic to get a fire job.
Sure.
And that was like the biggest thing, and that's what I was striving for, was to do that. I got my firefighter, got my firefighter 1, got my paramedic, and I was just like interviewing like crazy because I was just horrible at interviews. Like I was like I was trying to say like what I thought they wanted to hear, and then like towards like the end, like I started getting way better at interviews and basically like, just telling my story, and they're like, oh, like they want to hear a story just like anybody else. And
Sure.
so I forgot where I was going with that, but
That's very common, like the misconception of an interview.
yeah.
You think like, all right, they want to hear me say this and this. Like,
Right.
No,
Yeah,
man.
They don't want to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the most interview panel people, they kind of see right through all that garbage, and they can tell when you're being, when it's a planned answer or you're just being yourself. So it's interesting.
It is.
So did you get on a department out there?
So I volunteered, and then I interned with a department called Bodega Bay for like a year and like 3 months. And like that was basically like I was there like 24 hours a week on top of like working full time as a medic and going to school and learning how to interview. So it just became a lot. It was crazy. And I was getting really good at interviews, and like I don't know what the process here, but there was like you had to like test with like 500 to 1,000 other people for like 3 jobs, and then you had to interview, and then you had to do a chief's interview, and then they threatened you with like the whole like, psychology like lie detector test after that. So
I like threatened you, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, and like I was like young, 20, and like I believed like everything I was hearing. I was just like, oh, like I wasn't like the best like teenager ever. And, I've done some things, like, and yeah, I don't know, it was nuts. So
Yeah, when I was hired here, it was similar. There wasn't anywhere near the amount of people applying for the positions that there was out there, it sounds like. But
yeah,
kind of the same process. We had the physical part first, and then you had an interview. And I don't even remember if there was a written test.
We had a psych eval. It was like 600 and some questions.
We had that,
Yeah.
but I don't think there was a written like exam. I think it was just, I don't know, that was 2007. So that, I mean, I know there was an agility part and then an interview, and then you had to do the psych evaluation, which, I mean, you walk out of there feeling like you need to walk straight to the mental health clinic.
Yeah.
Because something's wrong with you.
In 2009,
Seriously.
they had a written exam because I remember one of the questions was 4 plus 4 is about what? And 8 was one of the answers. And I was like, it's 8.
Yeah.
But the answer was it's
8 question mark?
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah, it's about what? And I was like, oh, this is weird. But yeah,
Did it have 9 and 7 as answers too?
I believe 9 was one of the options. And I was like, oh no.
they got you.
Yeah, maybe I'm the asshole in this situation.
I hate this kind of test. It's like, be straightforward, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't learn till later on kind of what the psych eval, kind of what it's for. It's grading you based on consistency.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it does its thing. I didn't learn that till later.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you really think about it and you go back and dissect that test or what you can remember, it was seriously about 10 questions asked 100 different ways, but
Yeah.
it was all the same thing. Have you ever stolen anything? And then you circle no. And then 200 questions later, it asks you, have you ever taken a pen from work?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has. Well, there's an inconsistency.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, man, I hate this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we still do the psych eval?
No,
So it got.
we would never be able to hire anybody.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I got kicked out of our process early on because of a ticket that I got at Wrightsville Beach for sticking my head out of the sunroof while I was driving. And
Wow.
when
I don't see the problem.
So when I got the ticket, it wasn't just a traffic violation. It was a violation of the town code, which was a misdemeanor. I had no idea. It was just a pink piece of paper. I just got a ticket. So when they asked, tell us about your history or record or whatever, I declared everything in the way that I thought. And then they deemed that as lying because I didn't declare I had a misdemeanor at Wrightsville Beach. So luckily, I was able to explain that. And then they were like, all right, we understand that, but from here forward, you have to declare that misdemeanor. It's like, okay.
Jesus.
So you got a dirty record?
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 misdemeanors. Yeah. The other one was for swimming a jet ski after dark that was broken down. This girl broke down and her.
That was it on the Cape Fear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that story.
Just swam it around and got a ticket for it.
Wait, so you helped her?
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, can't win for losing, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
I couldn't imagine now like someone giving you a ticket for that.
I agree. I think that guy was just, I don't know, a bad day, lasagna at home waiting on him, and he just didn't want to go home. So,
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've had those days.
Yep.
They're few and far between, though.
From California, you came here? Or
I
was
know,
there another
right?
stop?
Yeah. No, from California I came here. I thought you were saying like you came here from California.
Oh, no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I came straight here. You guys remember Crystal, right? Crystal Subert.
Yeah.
Yeah, she moved out here first. I knew her from paramedic school out in California.
Get out. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And she struggled to get a job out there because it was nuts. I had a job out there, but it was a medic, full-time medic job. And I was getting burned out over there, so I was just like, I saw like Crystal was posting like pictures. I'm like, where are you? And she showed me, and like I visited, and I was like, the water's warm here. Like what is this? Like, I have to go like all the way down to San Diego to like get that. And it's like it's expensive everywhere to live like on the beach in California. So I was like, cost of living's good. She's like, yeah. I'm like,
I'm on the way.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Did you apply before you left
Yes.
California, or did you come here then apply?
I came visited, like I did like a ride along with New Hanover. I was checking out like the fire departments, but I was surprised, like, because California, they pay so much more the firefighters. So it was like reverse. And I was like shocked by it. I'm like, what? Like, all I knew was like everybody was like went to be a medic, and then like you do a medic for a while and you get your fire job. I'm like, that's like, you're good. But I was like sad for like the firefighters here. I was like, what the hell? Like, what you paying these guys this? Like, yeah, that pissed me off. So like, I was gonna take the job here, like kind of like de-stress and kind of figure out like mentally life balance, I guess.
Okay.
So that's basically why I moved here, was just to kind of like take a break from everything, because like I was just going nuts over there, like interviewing everywhere, like working full time, interning, going to school. I was just like burnt. So
Is the call volume over there versus here, is it similar, or were you 3 times busier over there? Or?
where I was working, it was probably a little bit worse, and like there wasn't like as many like nice places like there is here. Like you have like the beach, you have like nice areas to see. Like there, like I was working in like Vallejo, California, where the city was like bankrupt for a while. Basically, I could run red lights like on my way to work because the police were too busy dealing with like real stuff. If I was running late, I mean, I wouldn't do it all the time.
Of course.
It was just like that kind of city. It was just like I went to that city to get experience. I got a lot of experience there. it was nuts. But and shout out to the firefighters there. They're like really good firefighters over there too. I actually had a chief's interview with that department because they all knew me. I knew them. I went through their interview process, but the day I got the chief's interview was the day I drove into Wilmington with all my stuff. So I was just like,
Not gonna make it.
yeah. I'm like, I've already made this decision, but I appreciate you guys because like they were like legit, like great people and busy. God, yeah, they're busy.
You think if that would have happened 2 weeks prior that you'd have stayed there?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day because I was listening to your guys' podcast and kind of like going through like the whole firefighting part of my life, and I'm just like, oh my, like I talked to like my wife about it too. I'm just like, geez, like if I took that, like I want to like life. I don't even know. Like I'm way happier here. Like I'm happy I made the decision to come here, but it's crazy to think about what would have happened to you. So I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah, forks in the road, you know?
Yeah.
I am proud that you saw that you were not in balance.
Yeah.
And
I was not.
you made a move.
Yeah.
Like so many people feel stuck. So many people are stuck,
Yeah.
you know, and it just feels like you got to figure out something in this small circle. And you're like, nah, I'm going to open up my circle real big.
Yeah.
That fear of the unknown is that's a stick in the mud kind of mentality. But we're humans. We're creatures of habit and creatures of comfort. So
No, yeah, you're right.
it's you display a lot of the mindset of somebody who is doing jiu-jitsu prior to when you got here, that willingness to just, well, this is off, so I need to get away from it and do something different. That seems like something that you would kind of manifest after you had been training for a while. You know what I mean?
No,
it seems like a common mental state for most people who train like that.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of soul searching for sure. Like I had to like talk to like close friends and about the move too, because it was a big move. It was like I just know Crystal and that's it. Like, and yeah, it was just like, all right, well, yeah. I mean, there's like a whole lot like leading up to that too, with like the burnout. Like I went through like a PTSD retreat too, because like I saw like a lot of crazy shit like first 2 years in, and I had like stuff like that. Like I didn't even like now like looking back because I go through therapy. I'm like, man, like how did I avoid therapy this whole time? Like how did I like function? But
Therapy's a good thing.
yeah,
It's not sold. Like our circle doesn't talk about it very much. We've talked about it a couple of times, but it really like people should consider it a lot more.
yeah, for sure.
Was that something that was not talked about like it is here? You know, it's not, Steve just mentioned it's not talked about much. Is that kind of the same way it was in California?
I can't say from the firefighting perspective because I was
just
never,
in your world. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, no, it's just like where I was working, like they hired you because like they knew you wanted to get the experience. You weren't there because it was a great place to work. Like everybody was like walking on eggshells, like, but they would like fire you and rehire you just because like that's their policy. But still, it didn't feel good, you know.
Why was everybody walking on eggshells?
Yeah.
That's
just like how like
administration or
yeah, it was a private ambulance that owned that area, or not owned it, but ran the 911 system there. They still do. I don't know how it is now, but then it was just like yeah, it was crazy. Just everybody like got their 2 years in there and like. They'd probably get like a fire job because like you could work anywhere as like a medic after working there for a couple of years. So firefighter medic, that is.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was definitely a risk that I knew before going there, and still like it was a lot. But
Am I understanding it right? That basically if you survive there, then other departments are like, oh, you've been through some shit. We'll take you.
pretty much. Yeah.
It's kind of neat. I kind of can picture it now a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that what they're doing is right by any means,
Sure.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I mean, there was like a lot of cities you work around that area too that were busy, but this was like one like the good ones where it's like you're gonna get experience, like you're gonna see gunshots, like whatever. Like the socioeconomical area, like when I was there, like there was areas where it's just like really poor and like people couldn't afford medications. Like it wasn't just like trauma. It was like you're seeing crazy medical calls too because no one had money to like for their heart conditions. Like you just show up just dumpster fire of like a patient, and it was nuts. It was a lot to experience as a brand new paramedic too, with a brand new partner. But I mean, it made me a way better medic, and that's why I went there. So
kind of a trial by fire, if you will. No pun intended.
Yeah, kind of.
I wish I had a button for the little drum set thing.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah.
So once you get to New Hanover, what's life like here?
Honestly, I thought like they were like, oh, like the overdose like situation here is like crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay, like whatever.
What time frame is this?
This is like 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. And like that was like my first exposure here. Was like the medics just told me, was like, we got a lot of overdoses here. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I realized that that was a huge problem here, and I was like, oh my, like I didn't see that much heroin over there. It was more meth. But I forgot what your question was. Sorry.
Just what life was like once you got here, as far as the paramedic world goes and all that, and then personal life.
Yeah.
Was you finding yourself in a better mind frame?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like after the retreat I went to, they kind of gave me like a guideline of like what to follow, and most of them I followed. Like join like a fighting gym. They knew like I was passionate about it, which I had no experience with that, but they just knew that's what I liked, because there was a boxer at the retreat that like I woke up like every morning at like 6 a.m. and like did like pad work. He's like, dude, you need to like just go, and like I think like that's like your way to like kind of de-stress.
Right.
I'm like, it's like, and you might be like a world champ. I'm like, yeah, okay, you're just talking me up.
Yeah.
I'm not a world champ, but
Yet.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So when I got to New Hanover or Wilmington, I focused on those. Like I joined, I thought I was going to do kickboxing, but got mauled jiu-jitsu. So I continued with that. I pictured myself just like chilling on a beach, just chilling, surfing, like just becoming that person. Basically became that person. And I didn't think about school or anything. Like I didn't even care about that. It was just like, I was reading like Buddhist books, like trial by fire books, like basically like what am I trying to say? Like your voyage to manhood, basically, like
right.
That I feel like our society doesn't have either. I was trying to like just get all of it, just research and read.
On a mission.
Yeah, on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were trying to find something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Is that something that you noticed in yourself that you were missing?
I don't even know. Looking back.
Yeah, like what does the imbalance feel like? Did it feel like a missing piece or just off?
Yeah, I felt off like for a long time. So I was basically just I was kind of writing about this today. Like I haven't posted anything about it yet, but like finding like my inner peace. Like I go through moments where like, you know, I'm like, great. Like, I'm like, you know, I'm balanced. And then like a week later, I'm like, oh, what am I doing? What changed?
Sure.
So, I think I was just trying to find good habits. I don't even know what I was really trying to look for, but still looking. I don't know. I don't have it all figured out at all. So
That thing you said about the like you feel good, and then a week later wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
So many people, myself mainly included, you feel like you're supposed to be on and right all the time, and it's part of this journey to have your ups and downs and lefts and rights.
Yeah.
So it's bravo for acknowledging.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm trying to acknowledge that stuff myself. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's probably the journey that we should all be on, is more realization that that's a natural kind of ebb and flow of life. And it's hard when you're in it because it doesn't feel right. You know, the world's supposed to be, you know, peaches and sunshine all the time, but that's
Instagram filter.
That's not, that's not reality.
Yeah.
But it's just like that. Instagram, social media, and all that. That's not what we see all the time. We always see the greatest of everybody's life.
Yeah.
So we picture that's what ours is supposed to be like, and it's just not life. But just to piggyback off Steve, kudos to being able to kind of realize that and be like, something's off. I need to fix something. Me and my wife have those conversations all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just something's off right now. Back before I got on hormone replacement, I had went months, and I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on with me. I have no idea.
Yeah.
My diet's fine. I'll still work out. Nothing has changed in my life. Nothing has changed. And 6 months ago, I felt like a completely different person than what I feel now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell's going on. I said, I got to figure out something. I've got a medical condition. Something's wrong. There was nothing in life, work, family, kids. None of that stuff was off. I hadn't had a fork in the road or a 90-degree turn anywhere.
Yeah.
So she was like, I don't know, babe. I mean, whatever it is, let's try to figure it out. So
You're an asshole. That's it.
no,
Yeah.
she was under. I mean, she would tell me that it was just like, you're being an asshole for no reason. I mean, I don't, and it was the truth.
Yeah.
Spilled glass of milk at the kitchen table. One of my kids. I mean, at that time they were 6 and 3, maybe 6 and 2. So they're 6 and 2, but they would spill something or drop their cup or
Yeah.
take a bowl of goldfish from the kitchen to the living room and trip and spill it, and I would lose my shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the? And then 10 minutes after it happened, I'd be like, why?
Yeah.
They're 6 and 2. That makes
Yeah.
no sense. Kind of find out, my hormones basically didn't exist.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I was a train wreck. But so I got all that back online, and everything's great. But
That's
yeah, it was a rough little while there.
Yeah.
And it's
Might get my hormones checked.
it was. I mean, it was. I'm not gonna say depressing, but it's kind of. That would be the only way I would know to describe it. It was depressing to know that there was something going on and having no idea what it was,
Yeah.
and no reason behind any of it. It's. I don't know. It's frustrating, I guess you could say. So,
Yeah, for
But-
sure.
got to realize it.
Oh yeah.
Self-aware.
So
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's tough. I call that like being sour. Like that's how I feel like when I'm like either with my stepson or wife, like something happens and like I'm like feeling sour. I'm like, I need to like just go just I need to go somewhere. Just I don't
Right.
want to be rude to you guys. Like yeah.
well,
so.
kudos to that.
Yeah.
Because
I
mine
mean-
would just come out right then.
Yeah, no, it's not all the time. Like this is like picture perfect world, but yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's tough.
I think Jeremy can probably speak to that a little bit as well. Weren't you kind of in the same boat? I shared all my experiences. You were like, "Oh my God, I'm
yeah.
the same way."
Yeah, now that it's been about a year since I've been on TRT, and my mood is definitely a lot more stable.
Yeah, he's way cooler now.
Oh yeah.
Look at that beard.
Yeah,
My God.
Yeah.
mad testosterone.
Yeah, mine doesn't really grow that much. Maybe that's what I need to do.
Dr. Frank, shout out Dr. Frank.
Oh, Dr. Frank. Okay.
Do you know him?
Frank Institute, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
boy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a
Nice.
good dude. Yep. If you ever go get anything done, just make sure you tell me from the podcast.
Okay.
He knows me personally by name.
Yeah.
Calls me an asshole all the time.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked out his episode, he was on here.
Oh,
yeah,
was
he's
he?
been on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta check that one out. Yeah.
Mhm. Cool guy.
yeah, super
Yeah.
cool dude. Super
Yeah.
cool.
Seems like it.
Yep. So we're navigating the life in New Hanover now. We're dealing with opioids, all that good, the overdoses and all that kind of stuff. What was your time frame that you were here versus where you are now? Or excuse me, that you worked for New Hanover versus kind of the aspect that you're working in now? How long were you in the streets here or riding an ambulance?
I still am, but it's PRN now. But like a total of probably like 8.5 years. Like
Okay.
Starting like 2013 here in August, and to whatever it is now, July. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's almost been 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Good long run.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. On top of that, like the California run, it's nuts, man. I wrote about this too, like kind of appreciating like where you've been, or kind of like looking back. Like my therapist was like, "Hey, Chris, like why don't you, like," because I was like really negative one day, and she's like, "Why don't you go like look at like back at what you've done, like just start writing it down." I'm like, okay. So like now I'm like kind of like looking back, I'm like just to like gain confidence again and like getting like a positive mindset. It was just to kind of like look to like like that time frame. And,
Sure.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
You said you were reading books. I go through cycles. Like I'll I'll have a book and I'll work on it, and then I'm busy. I'm busy
Yeah.
all the time. Are you doing like legit turning pages, or you got like Audible app and listening, or what's your style?
I was turning pages for a while. I mean, I'm not like reading like crazy books now, but like then, like, yeah, I was just like, I would just like look at books like either Buddhist books like Siddhartha or like The Alchemist was like a really good one. Just I would just like go online, like see like read like try to find like inspiring books and stuff like that. Or like I took like some English courses and college obviously, and there's like some good books luckily with that as well.
Sure.
But
Yeah, I went on a spree there. I need to get back on it. I felt like I was at the height of my mental capacity when I was doing it, but I mean, I could be in like 3 or 4 books at a time. Like I would read 5 or 6 chapters in this book, and then I would read 5 or 6 chapters in this book, and it was like this constant cycle. And in a year, I would knock out 7 or 8, but I'd be reading 4 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So my nightstand would be a stack this high, and it was just I'd pick one off the bottom, read for a little while, shut it, and just shuffle through them. And I could keep up with it that way.
There is no way I could do that.
Yeah, I could keep up with it that way. And then my daughter got older, and then all that stuff started coming around.
Yeah.
And as my son gets older, the more involved in his life, I have to be with ball and hunting and all that good stuff. So, that kind of took over my mental capacity. So I need to get back in it. I felt sharp then.
Yeah. My favorite part is I have to do 1 book at a time.
Sure.
But you'll get a chapter down or 2, and then you're just working or doing something not related at all. But that information is in there, and you're kind of going back through it and sorting it out. And then by the time you make it back to read again, it's in there. It's not, I could find time to just read one front to back, but I think I get more out of it by doing
Right.
it. Get a chapter in, maybe 2, let it sink, and then do more. That's my favorite part about it. I like that style.
yeah.
For sure. You've mentioned therapy twice now. When did you start that process?
Ooh, that was a couple days or a week after my buddy killed himself with New Hanover.
Okay.
Yeah, Steven.
Okay. Was that? Did you take that on yourself, or did somebody recommend that to you, or how did that process go? I'm hoping that you sharing your process can lead to the help from somebody else. That's what I'm fishing for here.
Let's just say I was like in some meeting about me kind of being burned out ish, getting called out on that with like a certain thing that happened, and which was fair. But yeah, I mean, I was like spinning after that, like just mentally, just my whole world just kind of crashing. And I've been there before, going to the retreat and everything. But I was in a meeting, and I just told them, I was like, you guys got to get me to talk with somebody. Like, I'm not like, and I was with my chief at the time, and I was like, I'm just not okay. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not good. Like, I need to talk to some. And luckily, they were like good, and like they got me with a chaplain, Jeff, I believe his name was, or still is. And then he evaluated me and had me talk with like a therapist like later on like that night, because it was scary, man. I think when suicide happens, like it's weird, but it's just like I feel like it just kind of like it can like spread, like make the idea more available, and that was kind of happening to me. Like I'd be drinking, like listening to some song like over and over again, just to make it hurt more.
Sure.
And like I felt like I was just like getting lured into like, and I haven't been there before, like suicide. Like I wasn't like I have a plan, like I'm gonna do this, but it was just like made it like seem like it was like something like okay to do, which I can't. I mean, I can't judge anybody for doing that either, because for all the stress that they had to deal with, like in their lives, like maintain it for that long, like I can't even go down that route. But just for me, then it was just, I knew I needed help. So I did. I asked for it. Yep.
That's a very real thing.
Yeah.
Strong move to ask for it.
For sure. And that saying, or what you just mentioned about it being more readily available, the more you introduce it into your mind, and it's spreading and stuff, that's very real.
Yeah.
Very real. It's like, this is an awful comparison, but it's like hitting the snooze button on your alarm clock. If you're used to getting up every single time when it goes off the first time, that's a habit, right? It's normal. You never have a desire to hit the snooze button, but then you hit it once, and then you start hitting it just once every day. So there's another 10 minutes. There's another thing. And then after a little while of that, then you hit it twice. So now you're hitting it twice every day for X amount of time, and so on and so on. Before you know it, it's like you're setting your alarm clock an hour earlier just so you can hit the snooze button until it's time to get up. And like I said, it's an awful comparison, but I think it makes sense as far as how our brains work somewhat. You know, the idea seems off the wall to somebody who's never been there. That thought process just seems so far in left field, like, I can't believe they would do this. It's selfish, but they have no idea. And then to be in that mindset, and it comes up, and then it comes up again, and then it comes up again, and it's just so readily accessible. It's just a thought process that's so readily accessible that, I wonder how many people have followed through with it that just never reached the point where you are, where you were like, this ain't right. I should do something about it.
I got a question. I got nervous for you right before you said you asked help, and then when you said you asked for help, I was like, oh no. And it's because asking for help, that's like the scariest thing to do. And then you're submitting yourself. When you say I need help, like help me, you're submitting to now that person's control. That's the scariest part for me. How did that work? Like when you asked for help, did you end up regretting that request, or what was walk me through that emotion?
God. I think one thing that helped for me then though was my life wasn't going too bad then, besides having a friend do that. That's I never liked, who liked suicide calls, but like those always like hit me harder, I guess, for some, maybe not, I don't know. I'm sorry, what the process?
So when you ask for help, it's, to me, that's the scary part, because now I'm letting somebody else have control over what I'm about to do the next hour or 2 hours or day or 2 days or however long. And my reason for asking, I know a lot of people, that's the scary part. They don't want to ask for help because they don't want to surrender control. So I'd love, you're sitting here next to me, so it worked. So how was that received, and did they make you feel like maybe you shouldn't have asked, or did it go like step by step? Like, did it go good?
Honestly, it shocked, I think, the chief. Like he basically his body language was like kind of like that. Not like that, but like it felt like it was like that. And I was just like, but no, they were right on top of it. Like they called the chaplain, and I got pulled into a room. Like they took my radio, which could be intimidating, but I was just so like out of it. Like, I don't even know, man. Like, I wasn't even thinking about, like, I wasn't thinking like, there was no pride there. It was just like,
whatever,
fuck it. Like, so, but before that, I know what you're talking about. Like, I always thought, like, if I had talked to a therapist that, like, man, they're going to send me to insane asylum for all the crap that's in my head.
Yeah,
but
padded
like,
room.
Yeah, everybody has that, like, thought, but, like, it's really not, hopefully not it. But, no, that doesn't happen. Like, that's what therapists are for, is to help you work the craziness that's in your head and actually make sense of it, and so you can process it better.
Was a first therapist that you saw, was that a good fit?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
No
that's
kidding.
really cool.
Yep.
I have my brother-in-law. He's seen so many. He's a Marine, a veteran, been through all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
But his hardest find was finding a therapist that jived with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was, so that's really cool that the first one was a good fit. That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
I definitely lucked out. I think like when I was like a teenager, my parents tried to get me to therapy, but like I stormed out. I was just like I was like a typical skateboarder kid,
Yeah.
just
Pissed off teenager.
Teenager, yeah.
independent. Like I was like, no, like, yeah. So, but yeah, I don't regret going to therapy. Like I feel like I'm becoming a better person. Not that I wasn't, but I'm able to like function better, and it's getting me to a point where like I'm thinking about like how my brain's gonna be in like 30 years, and just basically like it's so much healthier. Like I'm surprised like everyone doesn't do it, because like, man, it can make you like way more productive, like make life better. I don't know, like even if like you don't feel like you need it, like it still might help you. I don't know.
What is it that everybody says, no, I don't need it? Is it the time commitment?
Pride, for one thing.
All right.
And then nobody wants to hear
You're doing it
nobody
wrong.
wants to hear what I would call constructive criticism, or somebody else call out their character flaws or their processing,
Yeah.
or you're thinking about that wrong. Think about it this way. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
Especially the folks who are saying, I don't need that. They're already in that headspace.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a guess,
Yeah.
by all means.
It sounds familiar. I've put off like therapy offers and stuff. I've gone now, but
Sure.
I spent a lot of years like resisting and not wanting. I didn't want to hear any of the stuff you're describing. Plus, anything that you've got in your closet, it stays there until you take it out. So if
Right.
you go see a therapist, now you got to empty the closet, right?
Yeah.
So
I think there's probably that fear too, that I know for us at work, the underlying fear is that you're going to go see a therapist, and then for some reason that confidential meeting is going to end up being not confidential, and then you're going to lose your job, or it's going to get back to the guys, or somehow, some way, shape, fashion, or form, everything that comes out of your mouth is going to end up back at the firehouse or in your chief's ear.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably not possible,
No.
but
it's definitely a fear.
it's yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of the problem when it comes to preventative maintenance, getting started early.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge advocate of that.
Yeah.
I think Eli put it best in his episode. He was talking about him and his wife going to marriage counseling, and I was like, and my brain automatically went, well, when did you and your wife notice that you needed to have counseling? You know, I'm getting in this deep thing. I'm like, he's about to spread some wisdom, and he's like, we don't go to counseling because we need
pretty,
it.
yeah.
We're going to counseling to prevent needing it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah. That was a good moment.
I was like, got it. So
That's smart.
yeah. And that's where I came up with the whole, we don't brush our teeth when we get cavities. We brush our teeth to prevent cavities.
Yeah.
That whole analogy, same thing with mental health. Get started on the prevention side quickly.
Oh yeah.
Keep up the mental hygiene, if you will.
Yeah.
So you said they took your radio, but that was that night. Did you end up taking a few days off, or?
Yeah, I think I was off for like a week. A couple of us were, just because, yeah, I mean, that's not normal. Yeah, I just took whatever time. Like, I wasn't even thinking about, I mean, obviously they weren't going to be like, oh, we're going to like give you an occasion, or like, you know.
No, yeah.
They were like, you know, just take the time you need and come back when you can. So I got to give them props, at least on that, you know, or not at least. Like, they're doing the best they can, and they did great for me, so I can't talk crap about that. But yeah, I don't even remember how much time I took off. Like, it's still like a blur, like, because the pandemic like happened like a month after.
Right.
And I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? So yeah.
Seems comfortable. Like, if somebody's just listening and trying to figure out what steps they're going to take, like, you asked for help, they acknowledged and sent you down a path, and it feels like, just listening to you talk, that you had some control through that process. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be as scary as however your brain's painting it to be.
Oh no. Yeah. Your brain, I think, is really good at painting how scary things are before they even happen, and you get there like, oh, this isn't that bad. So
I wish it was possible to have like all of fire, EMS, and police, and dispatchers for that matter, even all of us to be assigned like our own therapist. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one person could be assigned to 4 people, all of those things, but you never saw another fireman. You never saw 2 policemen. You never saw 2 dispatchers. You know what I mean? It seems like that would maybe psychologically eliminate that fear. It's like, well, my story's not going to get compared to another fireman's, or my story's not going to get brought up in a therapy session with another fireman. They're going to be like, I know that fucking story. And then it starts,
Yeah.
That's a lot of therapists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, therapists, they want to be there. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah, they do.
That industry is a calling.
For sure.
Yeah. You're 100% not going to get the same good results if you just randomly select members of society and be like, you're a therapist.
Yeah.
For sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So the pandemic, we have yet to have a paramedic other than Jeremy on the show that chats with us much about the pandemic from the EMS side. We work with you close. We work with all of them close.
Yeah.
But kind of how that was as far as how taxing and how crazy. Fireside for us, I'm sure you know, but they kind of, to me, the job got super easy because we weren't going.
Yeah. Pulled back.
Yeah, they pulled
36
us.
card.
Yeah, they pulled us back where they were like, okay, if it meets the COVID criteria and the questioning, fire ain't going unless y'all call for us.
Yeah.
We're not going. So our normal breathing problems, heart problems, normal Delta calls that we're normally used to going to, all they had to say is they had coughed in the past 6 days,
Yeah.
and we weren't going.
Yeah.
So, how was that for y'all?
Oh man. I don't know if I want to answer this honestly or not.
Right?
You can answer it how you want to answer it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest,
That's the best way, I promise.
like a lot of us medics felt like just we were just gonna be the brunt of it. Like we were just going to like just all of it, and it was just us, and it sucked. And there'd be calls where you guys weren't dispatched, but you were needed because it got dispatched all fuzzy, and then the family's screaming at us, and we were already dealing with the pandemic, and kind of just felt like society in a way kind of turned their backs a little bit, and it burned out a lot of medics, a lot of firefighters, a lot of nurses, doctors, and we got it though. At least I did, coming from fireside, I was like, it doesn't make sense to send you guys and risk you guys. So it made sense in that sense. But then when we needed you, it was maybe a little too late sometimes. And then we would catch the brunt of it, and it would get dicey sometimes. We had family members just screaming at us. There's times where I just felt like we should probably just get out of here before this gets violent, But
Right.
I don't know, man. It's hard to put blame on anybody because it's the first time we all experienced it, and we all went through it, and
It's like we needed 5 times the amount of crews that we had.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, I remember seeing that CAD screen every line field for multiple hours, sometimes multiple days.
Yeah.
And it's just it was a wild time.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were watching it from the sidelines.
It was frustrating, man. It was just everybody was joking about on social media, joking about the whatever break, the lockdown. Everybody got a break, but we didn't.
No.
It was not it was no, it was horrifying. Just from my brain, from what I've seen, it wasn't the worst calls I've ever been on, but it was just nuts because we were kind of isolated out there with the pandemic, and it was nuts. But I can't blame anybody for it either because it's all of our first time going through it, and I don't know, that's a hard one to answer, and I tried to answer it the best way. I don't know.
I can feel that it was not a pleasant experience.
Sure.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely not.
What's your hopes that we've learned coming from it? If it were to happen again, like tomorrow? What are some of your hopes that were learned or the lessons learned from it? What could be done better? Not nationwide. We're just talking about our community here. Nationwide, we'd be here for forever. But just here. I mean, how can we better serve the community here? Do we need more help from admin? Do we need? I mean, you know what I mean? Just what could be better?
That's like a really difficult thing to answer because it's just like every hospital is like can get overrun pretty easily now. Like, so it's just I don't know. That's tough. But I know the hospitals are doing the best they can with what they got. As a society, man, I don't know. Just be kind to others. Like, don't judge someone if they're wearing masks. You know, they might be wearing it for a reason. Vice versa. Just everybody has like their own beliefs. But if someone's wearing a mask, just keep your distance from them. That's all I really have to say. But don't judge them for it. You don't know what they've been through.
If they switched to 6 hour, like if they just could magically get more staffing and changed it instead of 12-hour shifts, 6-hour shifts, obviously there's a financial, but aside from that, we're just talking about how to get humans through problems. If it was switched to a 6-hour shift, do you think the pain and suffering aspect of the whole thing would have been like lessened by half or even exponential?
Jeez, I don't even know. I didn't even thought of it about that. But God, just going through it when we did, like, it was just, that may have helped. I don't know. Like, just it was intense. Like, we're already a busy county, and then there was COVID on top of it that made us like just crazy busy. Just it was nuts. Like, it just felt like we were like in an apocalypse. Like, from my mindset, I was just like, the world's ending.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else just thinks it's a joke. Cool.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, we would come up from doing shows down here, and you'd walk upstairs, and no street lights, no cars, no people. It was like...
It was so weird.
It was eerie.
Yeah.
So eerie. Just very different.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that yet. But hopefully we're in the endemic. I hope.
Ditto.
Yeah. But that might be like a goal of mine eventually, is to get somewhere either in the hospital or some position where I can just kind of use my creative brain to maybe try to figure out some of those things. So, But I don't know right now, just because I'm still like probably recovering from that too.
Right.
A lot of other things. So yeah, I don't even know.
I can totally agree with you on the way that the feelings of going into these places and just not knowing what, like in the beginning, not knowing, well, is this the call that's going to kill me?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this the call that I'm going to be bringing this home to my family? And
Yeah.
Melissa and I, because my wife being a nurse and she had to work the COVID ICUs. And so like we're both coming up with contingencies of how to create a living space in our garage where if one of us gets sick, well, one of us is living in the garage, and that's where it's going to be. And yeah,
no, that's a great point. I forgot about that part of it, like how scary that was at the beginning.
yeah. I remember going through some of the nursing homes that had like quarantine areas, and we had to go through there and like donning all the stuff. Is it enough? And you know, but when it first starts, we don't need masks. There's not enough masks to go around. You don't need it. And it's just like, well, absolutely, you need masks. You gotta wear them all the time now. You better not even like take one sip of fresh air out of a mask, or you better not eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we had plenty of those conversations down here because Jeremy was on that end of it, worrying about everything, and I'm the polar opposite, where I'm like, if I get it and it fucking kills me, it does. I mean, if I get eaten by a shark, I can't prevent that either. So I don't know. We had a bunch of fun conversations about it. But I'm a good example of what you were talking about. Just be nice to everybody. I was never ugly to anybody by any means, but thinking that the whole thing was just like, are we overreacting?
Yeah.
Or are we underreacting?
Yeah.
Just the confusion.
Yeah.
And then coming to work and hearing Jeremy talk about it and then seeing what I see on the cab monitors and then talking to other paramedics and other people. And it's just like, this is really bad for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my little world in Duplin County is, my family and all that. We're fine, but this is really shitty for some people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of worry, a
yeah.
lot of unknown. But
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. It was nuts. I don't know. Yeah, there's just layers to it too. Like, I could write a book about it.
Yeah. Might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, you're right.
As long as the studio has the first edition signed copy.
No,
We
That's
just
right.
stick it right there.
That's awesome.
If you think about it, like our circle, we know paramedics and firemen and stuff, but
Yeah.
there's people all over the country that don't have this intimate connection. Like they don't have the knowledge of what happened and where, and not just the pandemic, like that lifestyle, like a paramedic's lifestyle. That might be a bestseller for some folks,
Oh man, it was horrible, and like there was just so many setbacks during it for like personally for me. Like I trained jiu-jitsu, so right before it started, I got ringworm on my face. So like everybody's complaining about wearing masks, and I'm like, dude, I got ringworm on my face. Like,
Happily put a mask on.
yeah. I was like, are you guys really like complaining about wearing a mask going to a grocery store for 10 minutes? Like, I wear one all day. Like the ringworm's like spreading all over my body. And I'm just like, you guys you have nothing to complain about. But like, that's when I had to like, I told Jeremy, I was like, I'm barely on Facebook now. Like during that, like I had to like just get off Facebook. Just everybody's arguing. I'm just like, I can't. It just pissed me off because no one really knows, and they, good for them. They're not in this field, so
Yeah.
more power to them, I guess.
Did you have friends or people that are close to you here that kind of shunned themselves from you, or almost felt like, because we had that, we have a close knit neighbors and our kids play together, but as soon as the pandemic hit and they know what Melissa and I did, all of a sudden we were the lepers, and if anything was happening, they were looking at us like, "Did you do this?"
Yeah,
and it was quite funny that they were the ones to get COVID, but Melissa and I, we didn't get it till like August of last year, and I got it at a conference when we went on a safer conference.
Jesus.
Like, I had to explain to them, like, at work, we're probably the safest.
Yeah.
Just all the stuff we have to wear, and our guard's always up. But yeah, we found that we kind of lost connections with a lot of friends and stuff because of people thought that we were like radioactive.
No, like everyone I know basically is from work besides jiu-jitsu, and I like when the pandemic started, like I did the opposite. I shunned from them just because I didn't want to bring it to them. So I stopped training for a while, and that sucked because that was like one of my, I guess, vices you want to call it, healthy vices.
Outlet.
So,
Healthy outlet for you.
Yeah, healthy outlet. So yeah, I kind of did that, and like it sucked too because some people were like, hey, like let's train in your garage. I'm like, I don't want to like. I don't know what I'm dealing with yet. Just let me figure it out first. And so, yeah, it kind of sucked. But not that I was like, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah.
So we're out of the pandemic now, and you're off the ambulance, right? Or are you?
I still am PRN on
Okay.
the ambulance and PRN in the emergency room as well. Yep.
What's the emergency room life like?
Crazy. I feel bad for the staff that works there all the time, and it's a tough job. Like it's work all day. Like at least like on the ambulance, like you can have a break sometimes. Where
Sure.
like there, it's just like there's really no breaks besides like if you decide to go eat lunch, unless it's like a slower day, which right now it seems like there never is. So I got to give them credit on that part for sure. But yeah.
Do you like being in the ER versus being on the ambulance, or just kind of like you said, there's goods and bads to both?
Yeah, goods and bads to both. I like that I'm not bouncing around and my back hurts a lot less. But there I'm like walking like at least 5 miles a day.
That's ironic. You're staying in one place but walking a lot more.
I know. Yeah. But I mean, walking that much, like it's actually good for you. Besides like the hard floors you're on all day, and you have to like buy the right shoes and all that. It's just a change. I don't know.
I guess roller skates are out.
That's a great idea. Actually. I might show up to
Would
work
be a
and
good
do it.
idea.
Just get some comfy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get suspension on your rollerblades.
Get some Heelys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the most respected doctor in the whole place. Who comes riding in on wheelies. My childhood doctor, I dated his daughter for a while. Her brother's a state trooper, or not anymore. He's a U.S. Marshal now. Andrew Smith. His sister, I dated her like in middle school and all that. Her dad was a doctor, and he used to wear jeans, cowboy boots, a lab coat, and a cowboy hat. That's what he wore in the ER, making his rounds in the hospital, in his clinic, all that. That was his dress attire. Yeah. That was what he wore all the time, and I thought he was the coolest freaking doctor ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Heelys might surpass that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Heelys with the cowboy hat, shoo, and a big buckle.
Might be confusing.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh man.
So you're doing a podcast now.
Yep.
What's that all about? Tell me about where the idea came from and kind of the inception, and then kind of what your hopes are for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I heard Chris Athey's podcast, Flak Foundation, I think is what it's called. And yeah, he was talking about like struggles that like Marines go through and like all the like the mental things and stuff. I'm like, where's like a medic one? Like, so I kind of wanted to do that, but also like not just be first responder, like have like my personal things, and basically like whatever I'm going through, I'm just eventually going to share it. Just it might not come out immediately, but I'm like trying to get comfortable, I guess, with being vulnerable. So like I'm at the beginning stages. Like I don't know how you guys felt like talking and getting things out. I actually listened to your podcast, and that was like, it was touching, amazing, and I'm very scared of mold as well. Yeah, I just like want to do something that will like at least help, and it'll be out there, it'll be permanent. Because if I share, like hearing your story, it helped me kind of just with some things. Just hearing other people, like their stories, like it just, and they're relatable, like for whatever reason that helps. It just does. So
That's
like,
cool.
That's like what I want to do.
Yeah, it's the truth. Hearing, I can't tell you how many times I've had either a paradigm shifting moment or a heartbreaking or heart wrenching or gut wrenching or some type of experience while I'm sitting on this side of this microphone with these headphones on and just listening to people. And, you know, there's been people left out of here, and I'll be in here by myself at the end, you know, transferring data onto the hard drive and all that. And it's just like, mercy. Even editing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you've had those moments when you're editing a show and it's just like,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, but there's nothing more relatable than stories. Storytelling is the oldest form of education and conversation that exists.
Yeah.
Telling stories. That's, I mean, all of our grandparents did it. Our good friends do it. I mean, that's what, how do we describe it? That's what non-agenda conversation is.
Yeah.
Story time.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's great.
Story time.
Have you had the conversations with different folks? And my dad asked me kind of early on, his was honorable. Like I didn't get mad at him over it, but I've had different people ask early. Now they seem to get it, but early on, it's like basically they're saying, "Who cares?" You know, like
Right.
You know, why do you think anybody would listen? And you just gotta ignore that and march on. It actually feels good that you just referenced that show. Like that's awesome that somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, that's the goal. I'm glad you're doing it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, that voice is in my head right now. So like,
Is that
it's
right?
Like, yeah, I have to fight through that sometimes. I actually did a podcast on just the negative voice and how it creeps back in, and fighting that off to like be able to grow and help as well. But yeah, no, I haven't really had many people do that yet. But like, I also haven't like shared it with everyone yet either. I'm not like, this is me, this is my podcast. I'm just kind of like slowly doing it, feeling it out. But definitely like, I like saw like some person like is like talking about like releasing an album. It's like some people like they post about releasing an album like once and they expect to like it to grow. It's like, no, you got to keep like, you got to like share that. And like, I'm like, all right, like I get the message. I need to start like promoting it more, but I just had to get more realistically comfortable with it too, which I'm getting there. I'm here today. Like I was kind of fighting myself, like, do I really want to do this? But no, like I think about like the outcome. It's bigger than myself, and I think that's the biggest thing is like just putting myself aside. If I do that and just be myself and help share my story, like my tribulations, whatever you want to call it, and if it helps just one person, great.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So. It's we got a lot of the same ideas as far as the inception of this. That's basically the exact same way this one started.
Yeah.
It was, how do we capture all the entertainment and knowledge and everything else that is shared at the firehouse kitchen tables. Y'all sit around them.
Yeah.
Paramedics, y'all sit around them. You're smiling. I mean, there's a lot of smiles. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of boiling blood, cuss words.
Yeah.
So how do we capture that somehow and make it so other people can enjoy it?
Yeah.
And learn from it.
Yeah.
Be helpful. So that's cool. It sounds, to steal one from your book, it sounds like your motives are in the correct spot. So
Yeah.
I think success is inevitable.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a story to be told, like, for sure. We all have our stories. I have my own. Yeah, I don't know, man.
You were asking earlier about the ums and the uhs and all that kind of stuff, just how that kind of fades away over time. The comfort level, it also it just comes at a time.
Agreed.
You stop worrying so much about what you're saying, how it's going to be perceived. At least this is me anyway.
Yeah.
I just kind of quit worrying about how things are perceived, and I just try to be myself all the time. And I'm the same person sitting right here behind this mic as I am at home. I'm the same person that I am in that firehouse. I'm the same person everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
the camera disappears, and honestly, the mic ends up disappearing, except that you're, like if you move away, the fade, that is like center, but it's not a microphone in your head anymore. It's just like the spot.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I also I think it was our conversation we had earlier talking about just referencing, like the show isn't just seen or viewed now. Like it could be 2 or 3 years from now that somebody's in a spot or in a job and gets like, hey man, if that's your bag or if that's what you're going on, check out this show or this one, or
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Internet. It's a beautiful thing.
Is your show available publicly right now?
It is actually. Yeah, it's called
Get
Life.
that plug, dude.
Life with Dinto. It's on Instagram and Facebook, Spotify, and Apple, iTunes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Apple.
Yeah, Apple. It's on the Apple.
iTunes, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's in the produce section.
What is that name, Dean? Too? I've always wanted to ask you that because it's on your social media too, right?
I thought my mom told me that was a Portuguese word for dumb, and apparently I made that up myself when I was a kid.
Outstanding.
And it's been like a word that's just stuck with me. Like I would just call people Dintos, or I'd call myself a Dinto. And
Is it true?
Bro, I don't know, but I'm in. Let's roll with it. Yeah.
Jeremy, GTS, brother.
Yeah.
Google that shit.
I don't think it's a word.
God, I hope it is.
It might.
Or I hope it's not. Either way, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Dinto.
originally had a blog called like Life with Chris C, but I was just like, but I kind of like wanted to make it more like private, but in a funny way. Like the people that know me know who I am, but like,
Right.
the people that don't, like, they don't have to they can't. I mean, eventually maybe they can look me up, but it's just like something dumb. It's like I'm kind of private, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And
I like
Dinto
it.
means dumb. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
What you got?
yeah, there's probably nothing on it.
There's Demento.
How old were you when your mom told you this? 3 or 4? It's easy to where they can be confused.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Dinto.
Dinto.
What you said about that voice, the like the negative voice.
Mm-hmm.
I was explaining something to Hoffman earlier. I'm gonna run it by you. Something makes me think you might have a good answer. You know, you walk into a room or walk into any place and you smell something or you hear a song or something, but it's a very specific tie back to a memory. Have you ever like dealt with anxiety issues or
Yeah.
That voice, the negative voice thing, in my life, if one little thing causes me to have a little anxiety, then it's like it opens up the door for other anxiety that I'm not even.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm not even worried about this stuff over here. But now that this little thing has triggered, like opened the little gate.
Yeah.
Now the other stuff, the negative voice. When he said that, I was like, oh, that would get me. Like that'd be my little anxiety door opener.
You basically just stole like my recent blog I'm writing. Just
oh, sorry, dude.
By what you said. No, I was like literally just writing about that today. And I'm finally getting to like the end where I can explain it. But I just went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and went up there and like it was beautiful, but like there was a lightning storm up there and someone just died down here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh crap, like whatever. And then there's bears out there, and like we brought our dogs and like we let them like run free, but I was just like, they're gonna get eaten by a bear, or like they're gonna bring a bear over and like my wife's gonna get eaten. So I was just like, and she's pregnant. And
congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So like I was just like stressing about that, and like my sympathetic nervous system was just like nuts. And like I was like in a great place before that. I was like, I'm going on vacation, but like by the end of it, like my wife like went to go drop off my stepson up in Raleigh, and I was alone, and I was just like feeling like horrible, like down. Luckily I had like a appointment with my therapist. Not that like I was like I was just like feeling off. I was just like, what is happening? Like I just went on vacation. And she's like, your sympathetic nervous system is like shot, and it opened doors for like that negative voice to come back. And basically it was just like fear this time. Like, and I haven't like dealt with like fear in like quite some time. So it was just like, I was just anxious about all that stuff, and just the negativity came with like, I just like started going down like just bad patterns of just like anxiety of like what could happen. And luckily like she just kind of stopped it, had me like think about something like positive, and like started like made me think about like my blessings and stuff, and it started like reversing that. And so yeah, therapy, man, it helps. But yeah, just to answer your question, that just happened to me last week, where it just, my anxiety shot up because I was worried about my family, because I'm a loving father and whatever, worried about them. But then like it went too far.
Right.
Yeah.
The first couple of times I had any sort of anxiety situation, I didn't know. Like I didn't understand what was happening, and I was like, "This is weird."
Mm-hmm.
Let's pretend for a second that Hoffman has no idea what anxiety is, and we're trying to explain it to him. You know what I mean? It's for me. I'm gonna see if it's the same. It's your heart rate goes up, and then thoughts that normally would be irrational, can come in, and then there's like a moment in time that's either 1 second or 5 seconds or a minute, but it's a confusion, but you think it makes sense, and then later when you finally get settled out and you're trying to explain it, you feel like you sound like the biggest idiot.
Yeah,
because it's not rational, but you're in the moment. It's very real, and all you want to do is go away from whatever that situation is, or like physically get in a car and leave, or any humans that are nearby, like they have to leave something, but it's irrational.
Yeah.
And once you get calmed down, you're like, oh man, I did it. That happened.
Yeah.
In the middle of it though, it feels like survival. It's like
that's what it is.
Yeah. If I don't fix this, I'm gonna die, or I'm not gonna be able to breathe another breath. Is anxiety that way for everybody that has anxiety, or?
I don't know, man. I felt like I was pretty good like with anxiety for the longest time, and then just recently, it's been kicking up. But just because fear and things that can go wrong and all that. So I don't know if it's the same for everybody. I don't know.
I've been sitting with my brother-in-law, much kind of the same setting, just having conversations, and he describes it in a different way. I don't know if I've ever shared this the way that he describes, basically the same thing y'all are saying, when the doors open and it starts bringing all this other things in. He told me one time, he said, Matt, he said, it feels like I'm sitting on the end of a dock and my feet are dangling off and I'm just watching. And every 10 seconds, a ship will go by. He said, take your brain to old Viking times. He said, and the ships would row by. He said, and they used to line the sides of their ships with their shields, and they would row by. He said, every 10 seconds, a ship's coming by. And you're just noticing they're ships. It's just ships going by. He said, but then one comes by with all red shields. He said, and then the next boat, you're looking for red shields. So it's like the door's opened and you start looking for these other things. He said, and before you know it, whether they're red or not, every boat has red shields. He said, they could be blue, they could be yellow, but to you, they're red shields. And it's just rolling through, red shield after red shield after red shield, boat after boat after boat. And then you don't see anything different until you're out of it, and then you're back to, it's just shields. So,
Yeah, it makes sense.
sounds like the exact same thing, but he just told it a little different.
Yeah, you're hyper-focused on whatever the problem, even if it's a real problem or not, but it's a problem at that moment.
Sure.
Yeah, when it was the worst for me, going to bed or waking up, but being horizontal in the bed was not an option. And sitting up in bed's okay. So if I could sit up, I could start to get control. But if I was horizontal, it just all the red.
Yeah, wasn't working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not easy. That's for sure.
Well, hopefully conversations like this, shows like yours, just shared experiences will hopefully make at least the conversation about it normal.
Yeah.
There's one thing you can hopefully in the future start talking about it, and somebody won't perceive you as crazy, but maybe relatable.
It's cool if they think I'm crazy. It's whatever.
That's right. I think we're all crazy somewhat anyway.
Yeah.
But
sometimes it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Somehow a trial, once you're through it, if you can help somebody else, it makes your memory of the trial less bad.
Yeah.
It's like, at least we learned something through this. I think that's part of my hope in this whole journey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like definitely getting like texts and stuff like from people. Like I released an episode called like "It's Okay to Be Okay" because like the statement's like it's okay to not be okay, but I've said it's okay to be okay too. Like basically talking about grieving and the loss of people. Like I would have like guilt of smiling after like losing someone. So like that, I forget what I was coming with that, but just getting the text about it and like just like there's like I had a story on there about like I lost like my best friend but after I moved here, like 2 years after he died in a construction accident. His name's Jared, and I had like survivor's guilt, I guess you want to call it, just because I felt bad. Like I was like, if I didn't move, then he wouldn't have died. Like there would have been variables. Like I was just stressing out about it. Obviously, and but like I finally came to terms, not terms like it still sucks, but it was just like I like pictured having a discussion with him, like basically saying like, would you want or basically saying like he wouldn't want me to like make myself suffer more. Like if I was having a conversation with him, it's like, so what'd you do after I died? It's like, oh, I just made my life miserable. I didn't live my life at all.
Yeah.
Like
he wouldn't want that.
Yeah, no. So having a friend like text me, like being like, dude, that like moved me, like that really helped. Thank you. Like just like a little message like that. I'm like, all right, I'm in. So
doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not that it's like about that either, but it is about helping others. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on here. That's for sure.
Yeah. Appreciate it,
Chris.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll be sure to link the stuff if it's okay with you.
Yeah. That's
we'll
fine.
link the stuff to your show and all that good stuff, your social media stuff. We'll link it all to our show with you and get them listeners up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. Steve?
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. This was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for hearing out my anxiety question. Yeah.
And about the red boats.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, man. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
See you.
Cool. Good stuff.